Hi, are you familiar with that feeling that you are expecting something so much that positive things start to turn to negative? I'm in that kind of position now, and I try very much to get some relief, some methods to deal with this situation, to cope with it. As I told you about half a year ago, we put our house on sale on market, and it hasn't been sold yet, of course, I would tell you first thing, and it wouldn't bother me anymore. But first, we sold it ourselves, which is perfectly fine. But about a month ago, we brought in a real estate agent, and she made the whole thing like a double fuss. So I should clean the walls, and I painted a few walls again because they have a marks and and of course she arranges viewings, public viewings. So every Sunday we clean the house in the morning and then we vanish so that people can come and see the house. Before it was always, or just that if somebody called, then we would show the house, and it wasn't so hectic at all. And of course, we didn't have to leave. Now we have to leave like half an hour in advance because people can come in early, which is quite odd. And then there would be a private viewing in the middle of the week, so 2 or 3 viewings per week. So 2 or 3 times in a week, I'm cleaning the house. And of course, there was this first couple that lives quite near, but in a different part of the town. And they said that they were very certain that they will buy this. And the real estate agent was preparing all the papers already, and then they disappeared. And then there was this other couple, and they came, I think, that twice to see the house, and they were always like thinking about how much to offer and that kind of things. And suddenly the husband changed his mind. They would have been moving from the other city, so it's a big issue to move. And now we have a third couple that lives in our neighbor practically, and they want a bigger apartment, and they want the things that we have here. So now we are waiting for offer from them. But it has been a roller coaster. And yesterday, to top of that all, the house that we were really interested in, or apartment, somebody made an offer for it. And the real estate agent just was selling that apartment, contacted me and said that, do we want to make an offer? Well, we can't because our apartment isn't sold yet. So I was somehow like double disappointed. Like, oh my God, I had this like vision how I would renovate the apartment to be just perfect for us. And now it's going, probably. Maybe not if the offer is too low and they will rather wait for our offer than to sell it on that price. That can happen, but I'm not holding my breath. But you see where I'm coming from, or where I'm going to. This is selling the house, moving back to the city, arranging our life again as a majority or two adults with almost grown-up children. Our youngest is now 16, just turned 16, so she's big. She's not a child anymore. So a year ago when we started to talk about this, or it was less than a year ago, we made the decision very fast to sell the house. I see all this like positive change, positive vibes, positive. I would move my office to the same space and we would save a lot of money, over 1,000 euros per month. And that's a lot. And we would have somehow like new life, a new phase of life, being moving away from this child-friendly environment to adult-friendly environment. And the apartment that we found would have been there that I lived as a young girl, about 20 and something, and I felt extremely free when I was there. And the feeling was the same, that I would be very free if we moved there. Just a feeling I have. It has nothing to do with reality, but it was the feeling. But I have been now more or less waiting that we can sell the house, and it's not happening. And of course now viewings once, twice or three times a week. I have been like forced to double down my life. So I haven't been, now I'm in our dressing room, like you can see. I don't have the cozy chair here anymore because it has to be in a living room, so it looks more like a living room, and then this does look like room that everybody can use for their own purposes. So I'm not filming here anymore, except now when it's Sunday morning and the kids are coming soon, and then I have to cook and do everything. But my life has gone to hold. I had just made a decision to start sewing again, close to myself, and I had to put all of that away. And my husband says that don't stop living, but I can't help myself because I have to clean all the time and have the viewings all the time, but nothing happens. So practically, I have been thinking about this for 6 months. I have been thinking about it like every day intensely for a month, and now I'm beginning to be sick of it. And I'm beginning to be sick of the people who are making an offer but don't, or disappear, or stop answering phone calls of the real estate agent. So the anticipation of the positive thing is turning to negative stress. So I can feel it in my stomach. I can feel it in my good night's sleep or not so good night's sleep. And I'm thinking, what can I do about this? And first of all, I have to do what my husband says. I have to start living again. I have to start, go for a jog, do my sewing, even if I have to put them away every other day, and stop thinking about the move and about the renovation of the apartment that somebody else made an offer from. I thought that what should I do? That one thing, of course, is to start planning the move, start planning about the renovation. I said to my husband that I can make all the plans. So when we get the keys, or when we get to postpone these keys of this house and take a keys to the apartment, we have our renovation plan ready. But of course, he said that what if we cannot buy that? What if it goes? Then you have done all this work for Wayne. And that's true. That's very true. But that would be one thing to try to keep it positive side and not on a negative side, would be to start repairing. But in this case, that's the wrong way of preparing. Of course, I could start packing things. I could start going through closets and going through drawers and recycle and sell and everything that I want to get rid of that we don't need anymore. That would be one thing, and that would be sensible, because sooner or later we are going to move away from this house. That I believe. I don't believe that this won't be sold, but the market is very, very strange. But that's another issue. But if you have this kind of feeling and you don't know what to do and it causes anxiety, try to do something positive that you can already to go towards the goal that you have. And of course, there is the thing that you cannot, or necessarily always, you cannot do anything about it. So we cannot try to push this thing. There is nothing we can do. The real estate agent will show it and will negotiate and do her thing, but we cannot do anything. We cannot find buyer for this house even if we try to. That's not how buying a home works. So I just have to like really think about it. I cannot do it. I can't do anything about it. I just have to sit and wait and breathe and just try not to think about this majority of the day. Of course, what we do and what we can do and what is sensible to do is to look for the possible apartments to buy if we can sell this. That's the only thing that we can do that is actually worth a while, because then we know how much we have to get from this house to buy the apartment and it will be sensible. But the most important thing is not to think about this all the time. So in the morning when I wake up, I could see if there is the message from the real estate agent and then just forget it. It's not easy, but I have to. And in this kind of situation, you have to. If you have something preoccupying your mind all the time, try to concentrate on daily things, the normal things. Having breakfast, having coffee, going to work, doing your things that you do at work, taking care of children. Do everything that you would normally do and try to focus on that. Try to focus on things at hand. And this is something this is my mistake, and this is very like what I always do. I push aside everything that is like my own, and I will throw all my energy to the task that is at hand. But that's not wise. That's not wise before anything happens. And you don't need to, and it's not wise for you to do that either. Don't put your own things aside, because it's not good for a long run, and you will get tired. And take a Sunday to rest and socialize with people and keep those like normal things as much as you can, and then pick the time. For example, going through the apartments as has come for sale, it's a once a week tops. So we do that on Saturday. We look through the apartment that has come for sale from the city. There aren't so many. If there are 20, that's a good week. But there aren't so many. But try to like get your time and limit the time that you concentrate on what might be or what could have been, because it's tiring. It's tiring if it's not just a month, if it's half a year, and it can be the next half a year, and still we are here, and still this is not sold. Or it can happen tomorrow or today. And that's maybe the hardest thing, is that I don't know when. My husband said the same thing, that it can be now and it can be a year from now. That how are we supposed to live this time in between? That is hard. I know that selling apartment is not the only thing. It might be that you are trying to get pregnant. You never know if it's going to happen this month or next month or in a year or never. That's nerve-wracking. And that's an even bigger issue. So it's really, really hard to not to think about it all the time, and to know that wasn't the situation. If you are not getting pregnant easily, then it's not going to happen if you stress about it. And I know that it is sad, and I know that it's nerve-wracking. Of course, if you have to, for example, wait for an answer of another person, or wait for an answer from a new job, maybe you get it, maybe you don't. They can take months before they make up their minds. And that will change your life completely. That's also nerve-wracking. There are many places that we just have to wait and see. But the saddest thing about all of this is that when it actually happens, how do you feel? Quite many of us feel just relieved when we should be celebrating. So the one thing that I let myself plan and let myself think is when we have the offer from this house, or yet again when we have the money at hand from this house, then we ask the children here and make a toast and just eat something fabulous and have fun and have one evening to celebrate, or one day in a weekend. That much I have decided, because I want to be happy when it happens and not relieved and just like, oh, it took so long, but now it's over. That's how I quite many times have greeted the big things in my life. When I graduated from law school, I was just relieved that now it's done, that I can move on, that I can start working as a lawyer and not as an intern. But we need to celebrate, and we need to live every day of our lives. Like, think about it. This has gone for half a year. If I would have thought about it, and if I would have postponed everything, like traveling and holidays and all that, if I would have postponed my life totally for half a year, what a waste. What a waste would that be? And I don't want to do that, because now at 51, I know that I am not going to live forever, that time is limited, that every day is precious, that there are only so few weekends in the summer, that there is only so few warm days in the summer, and there are like number of days of summer in my life, that I can travel to Italy, that I can be with my family, that I can swim in a swimming pool and not freeze during the day or the night like I do at here. But looking at the bigger picture, selling a house is not a big deal. Of course, at first I was afraid that somebody is going to find a flaw from our house and want their money back. But I'm glad that there is insurance for that, so I can take that. But of course, many things can go wrong. I can only do my best. I have a real estate agent that is professional and that has some responsibility. I'm a lawyer. I know quite many things, and I can prepare. And for the God, I can see the things that can go wrong. I'm master of that, and that's really annoying. But to think that today, this Sunday, I'm going to make a vegetable lasagna to the kids, and we're going to sit in the living room and laugh, and I can see my grandson toddling around, and I just try to live a normal day. Like, there are only so few Sundays. So this is a good day. I'm not thinking about if we are going to sell the house or not. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But we're in a good place now. This is not a bad house. And maybe I can think if I can make some of the changes already that I thought that I would make when we move to the new apartment. So if you find yourself preoccupied about something that is going to happen, or maybe it's not going to happen and you cannot help it, just try to live one day at a time and enjoy that day, and think about the bigger picture, that this is Sunday and I'm going to have the best Sunday that I can with this weather and with this cold. And I hope you are going to have a nice day too. I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.